Make sure everything is checked, guys. Give me a second here. I think we're good. Alright. Welcome. I should be a little louder now that I'm in front of my mic. Should be a little. Let me turn myself down just a tad bit because I don't want to blast you guys' ears. Just a tad bit here. Alright, welcome guys, welcome. The bill is done. I know some of you guys wanted to be at the last stream I had. Hey Victor, hey Slim Gig. Hopefully a lot more people come in and join. Share the stream, guys. This is a really important stream because this stream will be about configuring Clipper from scratch. So maybe that will help out a lot of folks when it comes to doing Clipper from scratch, learning the configuration. So yeah, I think this is really important stream for a lot of people. So I tried a new setup. Hopefully you guys can see clearly, but I have 4 screens. I have my face, I have my screen that I will be using to show you the Clipper config, and I have 2 of them on the printer. So hopefully this works out really good. If it does, I might start using this format so that way you guys can kind of see everything at once. Yeah, so hopefully a lot more people come in. Like I said, this is going to be awesome because the printer is done. It looks really good. Everything is buttoned up. Using a Raspberry Pi 4. I have this LCD this tablet, this Fire HE tablet, which I will be using to access the web interface and everything from there. So, but we're not worrying about this right now. We're not worried about getting it configured and everything. So, welcome Kong Lee, as usual, man. Full-on supporter. Welcome Victor. Welcome Al. Welcome guys. Awesome. Share the stream, guys. Like I said, this is really important stream because we're gonna go through the Clipper config. For those who curious about Clipper, wanted to see from start to scratch, even from start to finish. This is a great stream for that. So I'm gonna let you guys know what I did. Only thing I did was install Fluid on my Pi, so Fluid is currently running. I haven't copied over the serial yet, so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then move on to the rest of the process. So yeah, so let's start. So right now, what you're seeing on the screen is just made the firmware, and it got into the bin. So I went to, let me show you. When you make the firmware, you open WinSCP, that's another software that you use, and you grab this clipper.bin folder. Okay, so this Clipper, so I'll show you how to get to it. So let me open this software. So when you open this software, I kind of already have it pre-configured for all my printers, so you can see all of my my printers on here. Some of them are up, some of them are turned off, but you log in. I have everything saved because I don't care. I don't want to have to care to remember to log in every single time. So when you initially log in, sometime it will land you at the root. Don't worry. Just go to where it says let me close this. Just go to where it says Pi Home. So right now we're right here. If it lands you right here, don't worry about this. Like, you're not lost or anything like that. So let's go to, let me get back to, so if you click on Home, I'm using Fluid. Kenneth, I'm using Fluid. So if you click on Home, you click on Pi, you click on Clipper, and then you click on Out, and then you will see the Clipper.bin. You're gonna drag this to your SD card and rename it firmware.bin. Now, if you're doing it for a different board, from what I'm hearing, one of my subscribers said that the Creality board, you have to rename it a different name. So it can't be like firmware.bin. I think it has to be like some random name .bin. It can be anything like Creality Ender 3 Pro .bin or something like that. So it's weird on the Creality board, but if you're using an SKR like I'm using a 1.4 turbo with 2209 stepper drivers. You just rename it firmware.bin on your SD card. Drag it to your SD card, rename it firmware.bin. You plug it out, eject, plug it into your board, turn on your board, and it should flash. And we're gonna confirm if it's flashed once you see the serial. So we're gonna go get the serial, and then we move to the next process. Kenneth, why did you choose fluid versus main cell? I use both of them. As you can see here, let me pop up both of them because I have a Windows for that. So this is main cell. As you can see, I have a couple of windows here for my printers. I like fluid better. I'm liking fluid better only because main cell is a little bit boring. It's not as customizable as you want. Whereas fluid you can customize practically everything. Like let me turn on my my V1.8 and show you. Hopefully, guys, it don't blind you guys in the background here. Yes, Kenneth. Creality firmware is different each time. You got to change the name each time you flash it. Yes. Each time you flash it, you got to change the name of the firmware.bin. All right. So as you can see, now my V1.8 is loaded. I like that I can customize it. For example, I have it set to red theme, so you can change it up. You can change the theme to your printer. You can add like different kind of flares to it. I love the layout. I just love how it's just kind of laid out much more easier. Things are accessible. I like that you have the macros right up in front. The main cell don't show you the macros up in front like that. Main cell is kind of like, I've noticed main cell is more flat. I just don't like the way it kind of looks versus, you know, fluid. It just looks 10 times better. It just looks more appealing to look at. Hey Tyrone, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome everyone. So yes, I prefer main cell right now. I prefer fluid over main cell these days. I just like the way it looks, the customization, all of that stuff is why I'm picking it over main cell. Nothing's wrong with main cell, but fluid is the way right now. Fluid is the way. All right, so let's move on. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the serial. I've already flashed my board with the firmware, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the serial. So here's what I do. So to grab the serial, I have my Raspberry Pi already connected to my board. My board is already flashed. So to grab the serial, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to Clipper because I never remember the actual thing. So I'm gonna go to. Forgive me for using Bing. I hate Bing. So I'm gonna grab from here where it says install. I'm gonna grab this here. See where it says list dev serial by ID? We're gonna copy that. We're gonna come back here where it says Clipper. We're gonna paste that right there. Okay? And then we're gonna hit enter, and then there's it. That's my serial. Now, if this don't pop up for you guys, anybody's installing Clipper, if you don't see this, that means your board didn't flash, okay? Your board has to flash successfully before you can actually get a serial. So if your board didn't flash, that's, you know, you gotta check that and make sure that that's a problem. Because if you don't see the serial, that means your board didn't flash. But as long as your board is flashed and connected to the Pi, you always get this serial for the MCU. So what I'm gonna do now is, before I copy this, I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab and set up, get that Pi up and running. So I'm gonna go ahead. I know the IP address out of my head. 104. So this is my new fresh installation right here. Couple things I do. I'm gonna go ahead and change the color right away because I'm just, you know, go ahead and change the color. I won't update it yet just because there's a lot to update here. As you can see, there's a ton of stuff to update. So I'm not gonna worry about the update right now. I can do that after the stream. So I can select a theme. So I'm gonna change the theme. Let me see if I can get a brown theme going, like a weird brown theme going here. If I can match the printer's color. There we go. That's cool. That's close as brown as it's gonna get. I'm gonna name the printer Voron Legacy. Okay, so we're gonna go home. You're gonna come here where it says system. So when you come here on the system, you're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab an example config. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and type in SKR. See if it'll let me type it in. SKR 1.4. So we're gonna download this. Yep, keep it. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. This is it right here, okay? We're just gonna go ahead and name it printer.config. So printer.cfg. Okay. We're gonna open it up. Alright, so we're gonna go back to fluid here. We're gonna copy this. Hear me, go back to putty. Once you highlight this, it's automatically copied. Hey, 3D Obsession, welcome, buddy. Once you highlight this, it's automatically copied. So we're gonna lower this, and then we're gonna come all the way at the bottom here. See if I can get this on screen. Right here, see where it says a serial? We're gonna remove this. And we're gonna Control V, copy and paste. And then we're gonna file, save. Okay, and that's done. So what we're gonna do now is upload the configuration now to the Pi. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So here, we're going to hit the plus button. So it says the plus. Hit the plus button. We're going to upload a file. We're going to upload this. Okay. We do a firmware restart. And there we go. We're connected. Just like that. Easy, easy, easy. That's the first part. We're connected. Of course, there's some stuff that we got to put in. But for the main part, we're pretty much connected. So the next thing we're going to do, these things here, these are all headings. So basically the virtual SD card, the pause, resume, the display, all of these are functions that help you navigate Clipper. So the virtual SD card it's to allow you to select file from the Clipper system and print. The pause and resume speaks for itself, pause and resume macros. And then the display status is what essentially give you the option on your TFT. That's what allows you to see the additional settings from the TFT. And then cancel print explains itself, cancel print. So we're gonna go ahead and add some of this in. So you click on that link. So let me go back again because I did it that fast. You click on this link right here. Okay, so go ahead, copy this. You go back. Click on printer.config. We're going to scroll down. I usually put mine at the top, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit it at the top. Okay. Give myself some space. I'm going to go back. Copy this. As far as display, I try to keep all the display in the display area just to make it easy for myself. So let me go back to display here. Let me go back. Where is display? So I try to put stuff here because it belongs in display. So there we go. Pause, resume. And make sure that while you're doing this, make sure that there's a space. If you have a space right here, see that little space that I created? If you copy and paste and there's a little space here, it won't work. It'll kind of just yell at you. Okay, so make sure there's no space when you're copy and pasting. Okay. So we're going to copy all of this. This pause macro. We're going to copy all of this. I'm going to copy the resume as well. And last but not least, we're going to copy cancel print. So copy all of this. Alright, so all those are copied. So once you copy all of that, you just save and restart. And then see where it says cancel print? I have an error right there, so I got to go back in and make sure cancel print is correct. So we got to make sure it's all the way in the corner. So go back to where it says cancel print. See that space I was talking about? See that space? That's the error. Okay, so when you get that error, that's what it's talking about, that space. So we just back out and then hit firmware restart and it should fix the problem. And there we go. The error disappeared. So no more that error. And that part is done. So that part was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Wow. There's a lot going on in chat, so I'm trying to keep up. Yep. Exactly. So, alright, so the next step now is to start configuring this machine. So this is the part that you guys have to really pay attention to. I know some people in this chat already know, most of, Clipper already know, but for those who are new, I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to copy and paste because technically I can cheat if I wanted to and copy one of my existing configs and paste it in and I'm good, right? But I really want to start from scratch and why it's so important to do this from scratch. So let's start from scratch. So first thing I'm going to do, go in here, I'm going to set some parameters. So first thing I want to do, I know my bed is 300 by 300 millimeter, okay? So I'm going to come here and say position 300 for the X, 300 for the Y. Most of everything is correct. For example, rotation distance is 40 because I'm using 20T pulleys. So if I was using, let's say, 16T pulleys, then the rotation distance for 16T pulleys would be 32, okay? But in this case, I'm using 20, and so it's 40. Micro steps are 16. You can increase that. The firmware will already automatically know what to do. But in this case, I won't mess with the micro stepping. The next thing I'm gonna do, the Z is okay. The Z is 8. That's correct because I'm using a TR 8x8 lead screw. So yes, so the rotation distance on that is 8. I'm gonna go max distance on this for right now because I don't exactly know the max distance on my Z. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 380. And if it's not 380, I can always adjust from there. So all right, and we got to calibrate this. But for the most part, we should be okay for now. We also got to uncheck these here because I'm using 2209s. So I'm going to go ahead and rename all of this. So before we do that, I'm going to get rid of this. See this right here? All of this? I don't have TMC 21, so I'm just going to get rid of this. This is useless. See if I can grab it. We deleted all of that because we don't need it. I'm not using those drivers and it's unnecessary. So I'm going to go ahead, start removing these things so we can activate our drivers. Alright, just going to call this 2209. I'm going to rename these 09 on them. Okay, I know the Alright, so I know my motors. I know my big motors because I'm using Stepper Online 1.8 degree motor, stepper motors, and these are 92 ounces. They take about well over 2,000 milliamps, call it that way. So I'm going to set 1 amp on each, 1,000 milliamp on each. That's plenty. Stealth chop I'm going to set to 1 because I don't want it losing torque. And what happens if you leave this at 250, it's going to run in like the it's going to run in stealth chop mode. And what will happen is that when you try to print fast, you're going to have skip steps, okay? It's not going to give it enough torque, and so you're going to have like skip steps, like layer shifts, okay? So I set mine to 1. And that allows your stepper mode, your stepper driver, to operate in spread cycle. And spread cycle is when the motor needs on demand, it gives it all the torque it needs. And so that way you don't have any skip step or layer shifts, okay? I never have layer shifts ever. So I recommend you guys set this to 1. Yes, you do hear a little bit of motor noise when you're moving fast, zipping back and forth. But that's okay when you're trying to print fast, right? So that's okay. So we set it to 1. I set all mine to 1. Alright, for my Z motors, they're 800 milliamps, both of them. My extruder, my extruder is a big motor too, so I'll leave it at 800 as well, just because it's a bigger motor for my extruder. Z, let's set this to 500 as well too. So, alright, now to set the other Z stepper, since I'm not using two extruder here, in order to change your extruder, your extra extruder on your board to an actual Z, you change this. So from here, instead of calling it extruder 1, we're going to call it stepper underscore Z1. Okay, that's how you change. That's how you change the a not being used spear driver to use it for a spear stepper driver, right? So you can do this potentially for any spear stepper driver that you have. So let's say if you had a SKR 1.2 Pro that has 6 stepper driver, you wanted to use 3 Z stepper motor, you can do this. You can do the same exact thing. Just call it stepper underscore Z2, stepper underscore Z3. And that's how you rename it. And that's how you'll be able to use that. So it's not that hard. You just gotta pay attention to the documents and get it going. But I'll try to reiterate what I'm doing so that way you guys are not lost and I'm not jumbling everything up for you guys. So now that we have Z1 here and we have a regular Z stepper, so we have a Z1, which was previously the extra extruder, we're going to use it as the extra Z driver. Once that's set, we're going to go back up. In this case, I got to change my sensor type here. I'm using the let me see if I can find that. I'm using the 3950 beta temp sensor, so I got to change that. And the best way to find that, I'm going to cheat because it's the easiest way for me to find it is to look it up here real quick. So I'm going to go to the Voron. I'm going to go to the Voron 1. I know it's in its configurator, so I'll let you guys see what I'm doing. If I go to firmware, go to SKR 1.4, go to the config. If I scroll all the way down, I'm using this right here where it says NTC 100K beta. That's the thermistor I'm using on the hot end. So we just copy that. And then we just remove this right here. And that's it. That's all I did. Just copy and paste. Okay. Everything else looked good, so I'm going to save and restart. Make sure there's no error. Alright, see, we already have a problem right there, so now I got to specify some other things. It says option microstep in section stepper Z1 must be specified. So we're going to have to fix that, and I know what the reason is. So if you come down here, notice that this still says extruder 1. We got to change that now, okay? So we're going to change that out. We're going to call this stepper underscore Z1. We don't need these pin here, the heater pin. We can get rid of that. And we're going to go ahead and copy a couple of things. So we can copy the micro steps. We're going to copy the rotation distance. We're also going to copy, let me see here. We don't need an end stop. Okay. Just these things we should copy. Now I'm going to move this up because it's all the way under. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up further. So I'm going to copy and paste this. Copy, remove. I try to organize it as logical as possible so it's closer. Okay, so we got stepper Z and then we got stepper Z1, right? So all we did was change it from the extruder 1, which is the second extruder, change it back to make it be a step, the second stepper, but it's in the firmware it's called stepper Z1. And then just copy some things from here, which was the micro steps, the rotation distance, and set it for the stepper Z1. So that way it's playing properly with the firmware. So we're going to save and restart and see if that fixes the error. And there we go. See? I knew that fixed the error because I did it a million times. So that fixed, right? So now what we're going to do to just do the basics, we're going to go ahead and do a stepper buzz. Okay, so that means we're going to go ahead and buzz the motors just to make sure each motor is moving correctly. Make sure I didn't wire up anything wrong. So let's go ahead and copy some stepper buzz here. So I'm going to go back on Clipper site. I'm going to go to installation. We're going to go check documents. We're going to do stepper buzz. So I'm going to copy this. Alright, so we're going to do a stepper buzz on X. So when I hit this, the tool head, pay attention to the tool head. It should wrap back and forth. Okay, if that don't happen, that means I connected something wrong. Okay, but remember, this is a core XY fashion, so one of the motors will move. It will move, but we got to just make sure that the head is moving back and forth regardless. Okay, so I'm going to do stepper buzz on X and see what happens. I'm going to hit enter. So it's moving, it's barely moving, but it's moving. Can you guys see that? It's very subtle. It's very, very subtle. Not sure if you guys can see that, but it's very subtle. So I know it's moving and I'm happy with that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do a stepper buzz on Y. And there we go, it's moving again. So I'm happy about that. I want to see which motor is what, so I'm going to go ahead and do a stepper buzz again on the X to see which motor is what. This should be the X motor, this should be the Y motor, so to be sure, I'm going to go ahead and stepper buzz X again. Alright, I'm going to send it and see what happens. Correct, so I'm happy. So X is over here, or what they call B in this case, and it's moving, and we're having our stepper buzz. So I'm happy about that, and then that is Y. So, now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a stepper buzz on Z. So one of the Z motors down here should move. You should see the belt tilt up and down. So let's send it and see what happened. Yep. So there we go. We have our number one motor moving up and down. You see the belt tilting up and down. So you should see the belt going up and down. So we're good there. Alright. We're going to do the stepper on Z1 now. Remember, Z1 was previously an extruder. Okay? But we turned it now into Z1, which is the second Z motor. Okay? So now we're going to make sure that works. So we just put one behind the Z and we just hit send, and then the other motor should go up and down so we can verify that works. And that works. If you notice, it's going up and down on the other side. So I'm very happy about that. This is very good. Very, very good. Now, I got to do a stepper buds on the extruder. I'm not sure if I can get an angle on extruder, so let me position you guys. I want you guys to see the whole process. So I'm gonna shift this camera to the extruder. All right. So now you should see my extruder here. Now, in the normal circumstances, it's not recommended to do a stepper buzz on the extruder, especially if filament is in there. But in this case, I haven't mounted any filament in the extruder yet, so it's okay to do a cold stepper buzz. Okay, so we're gonna go back here, and we're gonna use this right here. So. So if you hit extruder, if I hit the send extruder, the extruder should move. So I'm going to go ahead and send a stepper buzz to the extruder. And yes, we have movement. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but we have movement back and forth on the extruder. And that's good. So all my axes are working. So my Y is working, my X is working, my Z is working, my Z1 is working, and my extruders are working. So I don't have to worry about wiring process at this point. At this point, I know I'm good with my wiring. So now it's time to move on to the next steps. So we need to verify our end stops. Now we can't do any sorts of movement yet unless we can verify that our end stop working. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let me see where's so here we're gonna hit refresh. So it says all of our end stops are triggered, and that's okay because we need to add the configuration for the BLTouch, and we need to add the configuration for the X because I'm using sensorless homing on the X. So we got to set this all up first before we even think about homing, okay? So in this case, I'm going to cheat because I don't want to have to create a probe setup from scratch, and I don't want to have to create sensorless homing from scratch. So I'm going to cheat here, okay? So bear with me. So, let me go ahead. I'm going to go here and copy my sensorless homing settings. So this is how you set up sensorless homing. So if you have, so all you need to add if you need to set up sensorless homing on your on Y axis and your X axis is literally you add this, you add the diag pin and the driver SGHTHR underneath the stepper settings, okay? You add these two things and you're good to go. Now, this is how you can determine, how should I put it? The driver SGR determines how sensitive your sensorless homing setting is, okay? So for example, if you can start from 100, but if it stops when you're trying to home, you can lower it a bit, and then, so the lower you go, the less sensitivity there is. The higher you go, the more sensitivity there is. So you got to strike that balance between it being overly sensitive and undersensitive. You just want it sensitive enough that when it hits the side of the gantry, it stops, right? But you don't want it too sensitive to the point that when you try to home, it stops in the middle of homing and not hit anything. So, so all I got to do is copy these three things: the sense resistor, the diode pin, and the GRS. So I'll copy this. I'm going to come to my printer.config. I'm going to go all the way down to where it says my X driver. And underneath this, I'm just going to go ahead and paste. And save and restart. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy my BLTouch configuration from one of my printers. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to start that printer. So let me start that printer up real quick. There we go. All right. So we no longer need the ender. I think we're good here. Now I just need to start with the big printer so I can copy my BLTouch config. But hopefully, guys, so far you guys kind of see exactly what I'm doing. Like I said, it can get very technical, but don't be afraid of it. It's pretty easy once you dive into it. But you guys can still hear me? Just make sure you guys can still hear me. You guys can't hear me? Or you guys can? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Verify if you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. Awesome. Alright, I'm waiting for this to start up. It's taking forever to start up, so I don't need this anymore. No, why is it not showing up my... One second, guys. I was like, why is it not showing it up? Alright, so this is my Tronxy. It has a BLTouch, so I'm going to go ahead and copy the files from here. So I'm going to scroll down. And this is the BLTouch setup. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this. So on here, I just copy this. Because the reason why I'm copying and pasting, guys, because I'm using all the boards in my printer are practically the same thing. They're all SKR 1.4 turbos. So I'm just copying and pasting because it's just much easier. So I'm going to copy all of this right here. I'm going to go ahead. I usually paste it under the Z. So right under where the Z is, I make space. And I paste it here. So now it's copied and paste. So we're going to save and restart. So it says pin 1.4 is used multiple configs, so I'm going to have to figure that out. See what pin is causing that. It says pin 1.27 is used in multiple places. So I'm going to have to find where that is being used. Oh, okay, so I see what it does. So right here, we're going to have to put my virtual end stop here. So this is where you have to set this as a virtual end stop. So I'm going to go ahead, because I'm being lazy right now, and copy it from my Tronxy. See right here, it says probe Z virtual end stop. So we got to erase the pin from the Z end stop and put probe Z virtual end stop, because we're using a virtual end stop. So that could be an inductive probe, or in our case a BLTouch. So we got to copy this right here. And then we got to go back. And right here, you see, because the reason why we have the conflict is because this pin is being used here for the BLTouch. It cannot be used in the same place at once. Okay, so now because we're using a BLTouch, we can get rid of the pin here and tell the firmware that we're using a virtual probe. Okay, we're using a probe as our end stop. So when we hit save and restart now, we shouldn't have that conflict anymore. Option end stop is not valid. Okay, we got to fix that too. Okay, so we got to fix that. Make sure it looks the same way. Probe, Z, virtual end stop, that's fine. I don't think we need the end stop position, right? I'm pretty sure we don't need that. Yep, we don't need the end stop position. We just need a position min and position max. That's it. So we don't need this right here. We just need position min. So for now, I think we're going to set our position min to -3, -3 for now, because we don't know how the BLTouch is. So let's do -3 for now as well. We're going to save and restart. And there we go. So no more errors. Hopefully you guys kind of pay attention to that or fix that. And so we have no more errors on the Z. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our end stops again. So right now Z is open. But the Y and X is still triggered, so let's flip that in the system. We're going to go back to printer.config. We're going to go to the end stop pin and remove this exclamation mark. We're going to go ahead and remove that. That's to invert your end stops. And then we're going to move it from here as well. No, that's enable pin. No, sorry, my bad. Not enable pin, but end stop pin here. Go ahead and remove that. Save. Restart. Alright, let's go back again and check. Now it's saying all of our end stops are not open. Okay? The best thing to do now, before I can actually do a full-on home, I gotta make sure that my BLTouch is actually will retract and unretract. So we're gonna do our BLTouch query on there. So let's go ahead and get that going. So let me do a BLTouch query. Some of these things I don't remember the commands out of my head, so I'm gonna have to like clipper it out. So BLTouch come on, what am I doing? Command, there we go. That's what I needed. So right now, this is what we're going to run. We're going to run the BLTouch debug pin command down. Right now it's up, so we want to make sure it comes down. So now pay attention to the BLTouch. Look at my tool head. So if you look at the tool head now, if I hit this, it should put the BLTouch pin down. If it's not doing that, then there's something wrong, okay? So right now I'm going to hit enter, and it should put the BLTouch pin down. There we go. And the BLTouch pin went down. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Maybe I need to do a little bit closer here. Hold on, let me fix the camera angle, guys. I need you guys to see exactly what's going on here. So I'm going to lower the camera, bring it a little closer. That should let you guys see what's going on. A little bit better here. So as you can see, the BLTouch pin dropped down, so we're going to do a BLTouch up, just to make sure that we're good. So we're going to send the pin, we're going to send it a command to move back the pin up. And there we go. The pin is now retracted. So we're going to go again and do it down again and up again, just so you guys can see what you need to do to make sure that your BLTouch is working. So we're going to do another pin down command so you guys can see. There we go. The pin drops down. And we're going to do another pin up command. And the pin moves up. So we can feel good about the BLTouch pin moving up and down at this moment. We can be confident that we can home. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't know which direction the Z is going to go, whether it's up and down. This is where the trial and error is, and this is why it's important. I'm going to move the bed down a little bit to give myself some clearance so nothing crashes into anything. And if I need to turn off something, I can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, bring my bed down a little bit. As you can see, very smooth travel. I'm going to bring my bed down just a little. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to home X first in this case. Okay? We're going to see what happens because we don't know which direction it's going to go, and I might need to shut off my printer. So I'm going to have to get myself ready here and try to do this. So bear with me. So let me get one of my son to assist me because I don't want to have to run back there and back and forth. Alex, let me get one of my son to assist me. That way I don't...
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. You're going to stay right here, okay? I'm going to tell you when to shut it off. If it's going the wrong direction, I'm going to tell you to shut it off. You just hit this button right here. This button. Just press that button, okay? I'm going to tell you when to turn it back on. Okay? So I have one of my kids to assist me, so here goes nothing. We're going to go ahead. We don't know which direction these motors are going in, okay? So this is where we have to home in order to find this out. So let's ohm or X and see which direction it goes and see if it actually crashes and all that. And my son is back there to turn off my printer, that way I don't damage anything. So let's ohm X and see what happens. Turn it off, turn it off. Alright, so it went to the correct direction, it did. However, it was also moving the Y. That is not what we want. Okay, so what we got to do, we got to go in the config. So go ahead and turn it back on. Thank you, sir. We're going to move it back over here. We're going to do a firmware restart. That's okay, it just lost connection with the MCU because I'll turn it off. So, give it a second, let it boot. Alright. Alright, since it's going to keep yelling at me this way, this is basically telling me that I have to force restart my machine. So I'm going to have to reboot the actual Raspberry Pi. So in this case, I'm going to have to come here and reboot my Raspberry Pi for it to connect. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to have to do this manually. So let me reboot my Raspberry Pi real quick.
Daddy, can I read now?
I'm probably going to need you again, so stay right there for me.
Okay.
That's my little kid, if you guys can see him in the background there. It's my little guy. Now, while this is booting up, this is the challenge with Clipper initially, is that you have to make sure your motors are going in the right direction. And it can be tricky because it could take a couple of takes for you to know exactly what it's doing. So I'm going ahead and there it goes. Now it's connected back. So now we got to go into config and fix that. So, uh-oh. There we go. So now, we knew that X went the right direction, but the Y was also moving. We don't want the Y to move. So, let me see. X has direction pin. Let's invert the direction on Y and see what happens. So we're going to invert the direction here on Y. save and restart, and then we're gonna home X again and see what happens. Alright, here goes. Get ready to turn it off if it moves the wrong direction. I'm gonna hit home X, and we still have it moving. Yeah. Alright, it's okay. Let it be. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Let me try to home Y and see what happens on Y. Huh. Well, that makes sense. Turn it off. It will crash. Okay. What did you hit? What did you hit? The fan?
Yeah.
Be careful. Turn it back on. Okay, so we're having a little, so as you can see, it ohms X in the right direction, but the Y moves. The Y shouldn't move at all, okay? It should go to the side. And then it ohms the Y coming up front. So we got to fix that. Alright. I'm glad I'm going through this so you guys can get a live troubleshooting of what I got to do just to make it work. There we go. We're connected, and so let's go back into config and figure out what's going on. So maybe we need to let's go ahead and put back the pin to invert the X motor and invert the Y, so we'll see what happens. Take it a little bit to connect. Alright, so I'm gonna have to restart. Sometime if it does this, guys, and none of this is happening, where it's not connecting back, no matter what you do. So when it gets to this point where anything you try and it's not connecting, sometimes it requires you to restart the Raspberry Pi. So in this case, I'm gonna have to reboot the Raspberry Pi again in order to connect. So I already rebooted the Raspberry Pi, so it should take a little bit to boot up. So right now, my challenges, as you guys can see, is right now I'm trying to get my X to go in the right direction and my Y to go in the right direction. And like I said, this is going to be a little bit of trial and error to figure out, to make sure that the both of them are going in the right direction. And once you get that down, then we can move on to the other stuff. But I'm glad you guys seen this. Like I said, it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of patience to get going, but it can be get done. Alright, we're now connected back. I'm going to try to home the X again. See what it does. Now it's going the opposite way. I'm going to let it stay. Leave it. I'm going to let it make it noise. It's okay. Let it make noise. That's okay. That's alright. Okay, so it was going the right way the first time. So let's figure out why is it going 45 degrees constantly. Let me see. Okay, so our X enable pin is correct. Our Y pin is correct. Alright, I think I know what the problem is, guys. I know what the problem is. So, my 1.8, this is why it's good to have multiple printers. I think I had it homing at max. Position end stop 0. Okay. And here we have position end stop max 300 that 0 home in end stop position 0. Okay. Let's remove that back.
Daddy, can I leave now?
Yes, you can, bud.
Okay.
Let's try this and see what happens. Alright, let's try to home. Alright, that's fine. It kind of vibrated. Okay, so we're still not going the way we want to move. Let me see. Micro steps, 40. Alright, so now I'm going to have to pull out and look up something else here. Let me find out. I don't. You say reverse the end stop pin? The end stops are fine because I checked them. Let me check. Let me just make sure. I think it has to do with the sensorless homing as well. I know my Y is triggered, so I know my Y pin works. So there we go. Let's check. Let me do something. Let me increase the the sensitivity on the sensorless homing. Let's increase this to like I did 100, right? Let me try 50. Out of curiosity. I just want to see how sensitive it gets. Alright. Let's see what happens now. Okay, but it's still moving backwards, which it shouldn't. But you know what? I know exactly what's wrong. And this is how I said to pay attention. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Watch the fix. I know exactly why it's doing that. Watch this fix. Make sure you guys are watching this. Watch the fix. Guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to change it from Courtesan to Core XY. That's exactly the problem. Look at the problem. Just look. What do you see right here? I'm glad I'm doing this live so you can see how you solve the problem. Look. I didn't change it from to Core XY. So it's treating it like Courtesan, but it's not a Courtesan printer. It's a Core XY printer. So that's the problem. So now what we got to do, remove that and put Core XY. That's literally what was the issue. I'm glad I kind of, this happened so that way you guys can prevent this issue. So I'm glad that happened. There we go. So let's try this again. Let's home X and then now we can really adjust and see how it behaves. Well, and home the Y instead of the X, so it's vibrating. It's okay. As long as it stops. There we go. So, let's fix that. Alright, let's flip direction on the Y, because the Y was the one that went backwards, okay? It went backwards, which was on the Y, and I tried to home X, which makes no sense. Where is it? Direction pin. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. Alright. Let's do this. Home X. Wrong way. Okay. George Moody, yeah, I own a it was a not a scat pack, but it was a Daytona 392, 2017. It's pretty much fully loaded. All right, let's try this again. Third time's a charm. If not, I might have to flip the wires. But let's see. I don't want to have to flip the wires because that's more of a pain. But oh, now it went forward. All right. So I might have to do it the other way and flip the no. So what's happening? Slim Gig. The problem is, even though I'm changing the direction on the X, it's still moving the Y. So that just tells me this is not a config issue already. My fear has come through that I might have to rotate the motors. Right now, I have the left side motor in X and the right side motor in Y. So what I might have to actually do is flip them. So I might have to actually put the left side motor in Y and the right side motor in B, if you understand what I'm saying. So I might have to actually do that real quick. Let me actually do that so you guys can see what I'm doing. I think that might be the problem. I kind of suspected it earlier, but I wasn't sure. So let me go ahead and do that so you guys can actually see me. So let you guys see what's going on back here. Let me turn this off real quick. So I might just have to flip the motor cable. This is the main issue here. Because I honestly thought it was supposed to be the other way, but I kind of suspected that was the case. So that's fine. I can just pop it off real quick and just flip the cables. But I'm glad this is happening because I want you guys to see the full experience of what to do when it comes to doing Clipper. Forgive my cable's hot mess. It's a hot mess in here, so forgive me, guys. Let me grab something. I need some lights. So I get some lights, see what I'm doing. So let me see. Let's flip the other cable here. So we're gonna remove this. Flip this one. I'm going to exchange. So we're going to do making sure it's in there properly. That way I don't miss the pins. Make sure it's in there properly. I'm just checking myself here. Oh. Alright, I think that's in. And this one. It's a tight spot, so I'm gonna have to like use this to squeeze stuff in, so I'll be careful here. Making sure everything looks good and no problems. Alright. I'm not going to plug it up all the way. I'm just going to make sure everything comes on and then we can continue. Alright. Alright, let's do this. So, let me fix that too so you guys can come back up here. Alright, so alright, here we go again. Let's start again. So I swapped the motors out. Let's see what happens. See what I'm missing, chat. Oh, yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, you could do that too, Slim Gig. Yeah, you could just change a pin out. But I went ahead and just swapped it real quick. Let me see what happens. Oh. I think that's the Sensorless omit settings. I bet you 100% that's what that is. That's exactly what that is. So, let's move this up back to 100. Let me see what happens. Yeah, one of my motors are not plugged in properly. Let's see. Let me do a stepper buzz back on here again real quick. Installation. Stepper buzz. We copy this. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, we've got the motor swap, so that's moving now. So let's try. Let's try Y here. Y status drive. I bet you because I messed with it. 100% I touched something in there. Let me try it again. I bet you because I touched something in there. Let me try. Yep. Stepper error drive status. Rosa. I bet 100% I touched something in there. I'm pretty sure because I touched something in there. Hold on, guys. I'm 100% sure it's because I touched something in there. Hold on. Got my phone. That's fine. That's disconnected. See, I knew it. It wasn't connected properly, too. Wasn't in there properly. There we go. And then make sure that we have all drivers operating properly. Alright, let's give that a whirl. Let's see what happens. Live. Alright. Let's see. Let me go back and buzz it, the Y again. See if it behaves itself this time. It buzzed that time, but it's still behaving as if not everything is connected. Sounds so weird. Hold on. I'm making sure I didn't mess with anything accidentally in here. Everything looked good there. Okay. Alright, so to let you guys see what I'm experiencing right now, I unplugged the Y motor and I plugged it back in and it's working fine. Right now it's doing the stepper, but it's a little rougher than, it sounds a little rough, almost like, you know, when a stepper motor wires are mixed, like when the wires are mixed. That's what it sounds like. It's behaving like only on the Y. The X is stepping fine. The only thing I can think of is, I'm not sure if you guys have any suggestion, but I'm unplug it and try to pop the stepper driver out real quick and plug it back in and see if that helps. I should have mucked with it like that. Alright, so let's make sure. Sorted out. So I'm just taking out the stepper driver right now just to make sure that it's seated and nothing is a cause. Oh, we're good. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so let's plug this back in. You know what I find funny, guys, too? It's only when I'm live streaming that I run into some of these issues. Usually smooth sailing, but sometimes these things will happen for a reason. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's in, that's in. That's in. That's in properly too. That's it. Okay, everything is in. Should be no issues now. And let's pop it back up, start it back up. Alright. Okay. Here goes. Alright. Let's do one more buzz on the Y. Make sure it don't sound horrible. And I think we'll be okay. One on the all right, so you said the chat is off, Conley. You should see the chat still. Yeah, the chat should still be on. So right now, what I'm facing now is the Y motor, which you guys can see on this side if I'm pointing right there towards the, on you guys' side it will be to your right, but to my left, that motor is running a bit rough. Now when I do a stepper, a buzz, it's rough, you know, almost like the wires are missing. So I'm not sure what's causing that, and I unseat the stepper driver and re-put it back on, but I'm not sure what's causing it to behave very rough. So the only solution I have left here, I have a ton of spare stepper driver. I'm not sure if the driver went bad. Hopefully it didn't. But I'm going to replace that driver with something a little bit better here. Let me try to do that. So I have a spare stepper driver here that I got from Air One. So I'm going to try it out. But like I said, it's running a little rough and I'm not sure what caused that. It's just weird. So let's see if it's a stepper driver issue. But bear with me, guys. Alright, so oh, so that's what happened. Just broke my blade. Okay. Okay. Let's replace that driver right here. Let's replace this one. we're gonna pop this one out. Stepper driver Y. And we're gonna replace it with this. Just won't stay in. All right, and then pop this in. Alright. Alright, some success, maybe. Alright, new stepper driver replaced. Alright. We're back and connected. Let's try buzzing Y again. Oh, that's better. Oh, success. It works. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. We're back in business, y'all. We're back in business. I can't believe a stepper driver can go that bad. That's weird. That's very strange. I never had that before. That is weird. But yes, replacing the stepper driver just now, guys, fixed the issue. Weird. Okay. Let's go back to homing and see what happens. Let's home. Let's work on Y first. I'm gonna work on Y and see what Y does. Okay. We need to reverse that, clearly. Okay. Alright, we need to reverse it on there. So now we can invert. Where's my Y? Direction pin. Let's remove that. Save and restart. Alright, let's home Y again. See if it goes the other way. Nope. It owned the X instead. See, now I don't understand that. Why is it doing that? That is so strange. I'm pretty sure y'all see that, right? It owned the X instead of the Y. What happened there? Alright, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something then. What did I do? I did adjust. What did I just do? Let's add this back. Let's remove this. And then try Y again. Pex Pepper Hot Sauce. Hey, yes. So I did get a Tron C S5 SA, like regular X5 SA, not the Pro model, and that's what I'm using for the Legacy. Yeah, the base for the Legacy. I didn't use the stepper motors because I have a ton of stepper motors. I got like stronger stepper motors, but I did use the rods, the linear rod that's already existing, and I used the lead screw. But then I got some So I had some extra 2020 extrusion that I used for the bed. But most of the stuff is... I mean, in total, I spent like $600 in total to build this. It's not too bad. Alright. Let's home this and see what happens. Oh, okay, alright. We're having some major issue, guys, because this going the wrong direction. What in the world? What is, it's almost like it's, hold on. Hold on. Something going on here, man. Yeah, I'm trying everything, and I never really ran into this issue where I tried to home Y and it's homing X instead. When I home X, it tried to home Y. It's weird. It's like it's mixed up, but... Okay. Step pin, enable pin. You know what? Let me verify the pin layout. Hold on, guys. Let me grab a pin layout here because I do have a little layout of my pin. Just make sure everything is there because very strange. Alright, let me verify some of this pin here. Okay. .8. I mean, it all looks right to me. 2.8, 0.19, direction pin. It all looks correct. End stop position is correct. Alright guys, let me know if you see anything strange because I haven't seen anything strange here. All the pins are matching up in terms of the step pin, enable pin. I don't see any reason why it should not home correctly. Let me do something here. Let me remove that. Okay. Alright, so look, I want you guys to see what I'm experiencing. Like, so I removed the inverted pin, the invert on the exclamation mark from both of the X and Y stepper. So I'm going to home Y. And it should literally go, I don't care if it go forward or backwards, but I just want you guys to see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to home Y. Okay, it finally home Y. Let's see what it does with X. Alright, X goes the wrong way. That's fine. Alright, it home Y fine, X went the wrong way. Let's invert X. Alright. Inverted X. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's try this again. Let's home Y first again and home X and see how it behaves. Look. I just home Y and it homed X. It's so weird. I home Y and home X. That makes no sense. That is so weird, yo. I'm glad this is happening so everybody can see what the troubleshoot is. This is weird, yo. I'm puzzled now. This is so strange, yo. Yo, this is not making much sense to me, y'all. Like, I'm completely almost at a loss here. So when it was inverted, before we inverted it home fine. Look again. Yes, on the corks why both motors should move. But look again. I just want you guys to see for yourself. There's the both motors are not inverted right now. We removed the exclamation mark from them. So I'm gonna home Y and it home correctly. But then when I invert only X, which is going the wrong way, then when I hit Y, X moves. So look, home Y, Y moves the correct way. Okay, home, everything clicked. But when I hit, hold on. Hold on, I might have spotted something here. Oh! I know what I did wrong, guys. I know what I did wrong. Okay. I bet you this is what I did wrong. Max position end stop shouldn't be 0, darn it. It should be 300. At max. I'm pretty sure. At max. Right? Right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure it's at max. I think it's only at 0 and that's why it's going the other direction. And I want Y to be also be at max. 0 should be at front. So Y, alright, so 0 for Y should be up front of my, so basically Y0 should be at the front of this right now. It should be at the front. Let you guys see what I'm talking about. This should be Y0 at the front. And then this should be X0. So over there should be X max. Back there should be Y max. So if I'm right, that means I should have put 300 in the config for each. I think that's what I did wrong, guys. Honestly, I think that's exactly what it was throwing me off. That's exactly what was throwing me off, 100%. But you. Alright. Let's home Y and see where it goes, and then we can go from there. Okay. We can invert this. That's okay. I'm okay with that. We'll invert it. Alright. Y. Inverted. I did that so fast. Let me check. Let me make sure I just did it the right way. I did that so fast. Okay, a direction pin. Okay. Now we're gonna home Y again. It should go to max. Oh no, it's home in X. That is so weird. Hold on. Alright, let's do this again. Y. Okay, that worked. Okay. So X should go to max. Oh crap, no, it's going the other way. Okay, so anybody have any idea? Because I tried, and it's still not cooperating. Okay, I tried and it's not cooperating, guys. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Yeah, because max stop should be max position. Yeah. Y max too. So why is it not behaving? No, let's try 150. Let's try 150. Alright, hold on. Y'all just sent a whole bunch of messages at once. It came in at once. Let me see what happens. Also try switching the XY cables. I tried that. I had the same problem with Ender 6. I inverted X on core XY. Yep. Switch Y and X cable. I had the same problem. Board. Alright, I'm gonna try cables again. It's just very strange. It's very, very strange. I haven't even tried my Z motors working. Let's try this one more time. I'm just gonna try, see how it behaves again. Okay. Y is homed. I'm guessing X is gonna do the same thing. Yep. Yep. Let me look back on something here. I want to check something on my Ender 3. Just to make sure I didn't miss anything on my sensorless home in here. Let me try something. Where's my... Oh, come on. Come, behave. How do you move the browser? There we go. Alright, let me see on my Ender 3 what I did. Max position, end stop position 0 on a Y. Max position, okay. And virtual Z end stop. Step distance. I didn't put safe home in yet because I didn't need to do that yet. But I need to copy this. Definitely need to copy this. I'll copy that, but that's okay. We don't, it's not that important right now. I need to see diode pin 129, so 100. 2209, 2209. Yeah, so there's nothing that I did anything special, so alright, I got one more thing to try, guys. One more thing to try. And if not, I might have to borrow a config that's already done and do it. But I don't want to do that. I really want to show you guys from scratch. But let me see. I have one more thing up my sleeve to try. One more thing to try. Alright. Okay. Okay. nothing that stops it because this wire is not crushed, and I'm hoping that it's not pinched here. Okay. Alright, let's try this again, guys. If this don't work, I'm at a loss. I'm absolutely at a loss with this. Alright. Let's see what happens. Alright. Let's try this again. I'll try that. I'll try that. Let's try one more stepper buzz here and then make sure I verify my motor again. But I'm going to try this one more time and see what happens. This is very, very strange, guys. Check documents, stepper buzz. Alright, I flipped the motors again, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna verify just to make sure we're getting that. Okay. Alright, that's working. Let's try Y. Y is working. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let me connect back my camera here. What's going on? Why are you guys not seeing me? There we go. Hopefully you guys are seeing me on my phone cam because I don't know what happened there. So hopefully you guys are still seeing me here on the phone cam. Alright. Let's try the home Y. Let's see what happens. Alright, it comes forward. That's okay. We're going to invert Y. Come on. Alright. Might have to hit. Okay, we're gonna have to do a hard reboot on the Pi again. If it's not gonna come back up. Yep, we're gonna have to do a hard reboot on the Pi. So let me go ahead and do that. There we go. Yes, it's strange, guys. I was hoping to make a lot more progress than this and be a lot more far so we can at least do a test print and get the extruder E-steps calibrated. But apparently this setup had different plans for me tonight. No worries though, if we can't get it done, that's fine. I'll make sure we do another stream tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so we'll get another stream in, and hopefully we can actually continue this, because it'd be nice to get this going. Okay, so alright. Let's home Y again. Nope. And move the X. Let me see what X does. Nope. Okay. Completely flipped around again. This is so weird, dude. This is so weird, yo. I don't understand what is going on, yo. This is so weird. And I bet you it's something simple, too. I bet you it's just something simple that I totally forgot. You know what? Let me try that. I thought about that, George. Let me try see if that worked too. Home in positive direction. Because I thought about doing that too. Let me add that to it. Appreciate that. Let me copy and paste that in and see if that does. Yes, you can. Sorry, babe. Alright, let's try this. Option home positive direction is not valid in section X stepper. Why is it not? Why is it not valid? Why is it not valid? It's so weird. You know what? Let me look in my... Tell me I still have it. Voron switch wire. What did I have for this? End stop max end stop position 298. Y was 0, which is at okay, this doesn't even show me what I'm looking for. Yeah, this doesn't show me what I'm looking for. Okay. I was hoping that I'll find something here, but that doesn't even show me what I'm looking for. Doesn't work. I don't know. It says, this is what it says again? Option Omen pause direction is not valid. In section X. Can't see me? Alright, hold on. Let me fix that. See if I can fix that. Hold on. Let me end this real quick, my screen thing, and see if I can re-add that back from my email. Alright, let me go to phone, no audio, start. There we go. We're good. Alright. Anybody else has any suggestion? I tried, you said what? What's my, let me look in here. There's nothing in front of the pins. See, end stop position 300. End stop position 300. I was correct. So I don't understand. Like, that's what it's supposed to do. End stop position 300, end stop position 300. Yeah. So what's going on? Why is it not working? So weird. Intrapolation. I mean, I don't think that has nothing to do with it. Intrapolation. True. I don't think that has nothing to do with it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. It's like weird. It's so strange. This is so weird. Says this is not correct, so let's remove that. And it is absolutely strange. I've never seen this before. This is so weird. Line 72 contains error. What? It's not even there. Alright guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cheat a little bit here and I'm just going to get my V1.8 and try something. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to get rid of this config file and try something fresh and see if it wasn't a file. But I'm going to get rid of this file. The space out. You said a space? There's a space? Where? Where's the space at? I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try something real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and kill this file real quick and see what happens. I'm just so curious right now. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna drop this sucker. I'm just gonna delete that, call it a day. See, it's already giving massive errors right there, and I remove the file. So there we go. So all right, I'm gonna take this that I just downloaded, get rid of that. Call it that. Some of this I'm gonna have to remove, like some of the stuff I don't have, so I'll move that in a second because I don't have any screen, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just gonna take this, file, save. I'm just gonna upload it to it and see what it does. Okay, you gonna connect or? Okay. All right. I'll have to pop this out again. Yeah, boys, this is a very interesting stream. We kind of hit a stumbling block, but I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out, and I'm definitely going to report back if we can't get it. It's hitting about 9:30 right now. I'm going to give myself another 10 or 15 minutes, and after that, I'll just call the stream. I'll just try to figure out in the background. I won't do much. I'll just try to figure out what the motor is and get that orientation. And then I'll start a stream tomorrow. I'll get a stream going tomorrow so we can talk about what happened. And but yeah, it's very strange. Just very, very weird. Okay. Okay, now it doesn't want to connect. So weird. And I know why too, because I have this stupid this right here. Gotta get rid of that. Else you will never connect. There we go. Gotta remove that. Alright, so here goes. Everything should be. This is from my V1.8 config. So I don't know if it's gonna do, but if it still causes an issue, then I'm just gonna have to figure out what's going on either with the board, motor, or something else. But something else is going on to cause it not to be going in the wrong direction. So the census right now is I did the motor swap. I did driver swap. I did the cable swap between the both motors. Add everything in the config like I'm supposed to, and it's still doing weird things. I've inverted the X, inverted the Y, inverted both of them, keep both of them the same issue. So I think there's a deeper cause here more than just that. But let's see. I'm gonna do Y. Okay. At home correctly. Let's do X. Oh wow, that worked. Well, that worked that time. I don't know what the hell happened. That's so freaking weird. So that worked, guys. It homed correctly this time. Wow. So my only explanation is the fact that it worked with my 1.8 configuration file, which I thought, I don't know why I thought about it, but I just thought to use it. I'm thinking something was wrong with the file I used originally. So the one that I've downloaded from Fluid itself. I didn't go on Clipper website to get this. I downloaded it through the Fluid package from Fluid. So I'm thinking maybe something going on with that configuration file and it caused an issue with the motor. But right now my motors are working fine. They just ohm. So I got to fix now the sensorless homing on the X. So let's add sensorless homing in here and see what happens. So go back to here. Let's add our sensorless homing. So let's grab that. Let's go here where we are. Right here. Let's go down to X. Baby self, what are you doing? Alright, that's actually, you know what? I don't want it right there. I want the stub chop to be at the bottom. Hold on. I want stub chop to be at the bottom. So we're just gonna actually do that. Put it right here. There we go. Alright. Now we gotta grab our BLTouch. So I'm gonna drop this right here. Get rid of the probe. Grab our BLTouch config. Where's our BLTouch? What am I looking at? Oh, BLTouch is in the wrong one here. So my Tronxy. There we go. Go get my BLTouch. Take this. And then go back here. There we go. Alright, so our BLTouch is in. We need to set our virtual end stop, so we got to fix this back because we're not using this pin. So we got to find out. Okay, so our BLTouch is pin 127. So we got to remove pin 127 from here. We're no longer using this. So we got to set the virtual end stop. Come back here and copy virtual end stop. Gonna put right here, virtual end stop. Then, oh, what is this? Things are throwing me off in this file already. Max position. No, we don't need that, right? We just need this. So I'm gonna cheat. I'm cheating, guys. I'm cheating. Make it easier. We don't need none of this. Correct? I'll leave a second home in alone. I'll leave a speed alone. I think this is my problem right here. There we go. Speed. Okay. Let's get rid of this, man. We don't need this. That's for the 1.8. We don't need all of that. All right. Save and restart. All right. Here goes. Here goes. Home Y. Y homes. Home X. Oh, did I not press it? Nope. So I still got to set up sensorless homing. So right now the problem is just sensorless homing, but the homing is correct. So that's only my issue now, is the sensorless homing to behave properly. So Clipper sensorless homing. Sensorless homing. Okay, alright. So we put that underneath there already in the config. Okay, so we gotta slow the homing speed on X. Okay. We gotta lower the homing speed on X, so we gotta go back up. Speed's a little too fast, so we gotta slow it down a little bit. X homing speed 20. Slow it down a little bit, and okay, so the most sensitive value, the least sensitive is 0. Most sensitive is 255. The highest sensitive is accessible home. Set field sensitivity to I'm looking at the value right now. So let's try 255. Let's go up there and then see how sensitive it is and then go from there. So let's go back down here, go to the driver. We're going to put 255. We're going to go to the most sensitive just to see if it works and then go from there. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. I'm gonna do that next. George, I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna try 60 next. I'm just curious to see if it behaves weird here. All right. So it's on Y. Good. We got Y started out, and let's home X and see how it behaves. It's homing slow, but let's see if it. No, it still crashes. Still crashing. So I'm gonna try 60 like you mentioned. Alright. We can stop now. Thank you. Let's try that. Let's try 60. Alright. 100 worked for me, but let me try 60. I'm gonna try Ohm X right now and see if it behaves itself, but it could just be my driver too. No, it's still hitting. So it's almost like it's not detecting it. Let me go to my ender and see what I did. Did I do anything for X? Ah, that's what I forgot. You see why it's important to pay attention? Look what I forgot, guys. Look at this. It's so important to pay attention. This is what I forgot. Because it's a virtual end stop, so good to pay attention. So that's the problem. So X here, we go to end stop. Get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, see? This is what the stream does, man. If I was off the stream, I'm pretty sure I would have figured all this out. But when you're on the stream, man, it's a whole, I don't know why, it's a whole different vibe. Let's see what happens now. I'm gonna put it back at 100. Let me go back and put it back at 100. 100 seemed to work. So let me run 100. Where are we? Alright. I need to check the end stop first because now that I add the virtual thing, I need to check it. It's all open. Very good. So let's ohm X. Oh, too sensitive. Huh? It stopped. End stop triggered after retract. Yeah, of course. So let me turn it down. So I'm gonna go from 64. Let's go down to 64. We're least sensitive here. Let's back it down. So let's try 64. Alright. Ohm X. It's moving and it's moving and it's moving. And we're going very slowly, but that worked. But I'm gonna take the retraction off because we shouldn't have our X retracting after sensorless homing. I'd rather not retract. It looks weird. It just feels weird to have it retract. It's not like an end stop switch. So I'm gonna turn that off because that, yeah, it looks weird. So we're gonna turn off it and stop it from retracting. This right here, we got to get rid of this. We don't need it retracting. And we speed it up because that's a little slow for me. So let me speed it up and see what happens. All right, let me bring it back in the center. Let's ohm X again. That's better. Okay. I don't like what he just did. I mean, it's homing fine now. We made progress, guys. We made freaking progress, but it's doing something weird I don't like. Why is it bumming off the side? It's like almost like it's stopping, but then it moves back like that. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't want it retracting at all. So let me go back again. Why is it doing that? Let's... Okay. We also need to fix this, guys, because remember the position is 300, so we need to make sure that it's hold on. Before I touch that, I'm thinking that let me bump up the sensitivity just a little bit, because it's bumming off and I didn't like the way it was bouncing off that. Let me go let's do 70. Alright. Let's see how it behaves. I like that. That's better. But it's still doing this. See, that's where it says end stop still triggered after retract. I don't want that. And I'm not sure what's that for. Let's on Y. That's great. But this is where it's still saying ohm X. Look. It's saying this. I don't know what this is. End stop still triggered after retract. Why is it saying that? Hey, thanks, George, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna probably have a stream tomorrow. But yeah, it's getting pretty late out there. It's almost like 3 hours in. So in the next 15 minutes, boys, I'm gonna call it, and then I'll have a stream tomorrow to finish this up, because yeah, I don't want to hold you guys too long now. But I have a stream tomorrow, sometime during the morning, maybe in the afternoon, probably like around 11, 12, around that in the morning. Okay. I don't want it retracting. Definitely don't want it retracting. Okay. Alright, let's see if that fixed the problem. Let's bring it back to the center. Why is it retracting? It shouldn't retract. It's... Hold on. Alright, let's see what's the problem here. You know what? That's probably what it is. That is probably what it is. You know what? That's probably exactly what it is. Maybe I need to add a little arrow thing to it. No, wrong thing. Maybe I need to add that little arrow. Let's see. How do you invert now? How would you invert this? You just put one here? Would that invert it? Ah. Okay. So that's how you invert. Okay. Yeah, but, okay. So that's how you invert. Okay, I understand it now. Okay. I finally got it. So let's go back down here. Remove that trigger. We don't need this. Keep it open. Let me increase. I'm just going to increase the sensitivity just a tad bit more. We try 80. Still trigger after we track. I don't understand why it's just saying that. I get that part that it's still a trigger, but let's slow it down quite a bit then. Now we're going to slow it down a little bit. Oh, it crashed. Okay. It crashed. Okay. Alright. Let's go a little too slow. Go back down. $70. Okay. Slow, but still does it. So I'm gonna have to figure this part out, guys. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. But man, I wish we could have made it much further than this. But we finally figured it out. So to recap, the problem was never really the wire or the stepper driver. The problem was just a bad configuration file. So I didn't realize you can actually have that issue. So I guess we discovered that together. So I would suggest this. Instead of pulling the configuration file from Fluid itself, which was right here. So instead of pulling the files from here, just go ahead and go on Clipper website and pull the example files from there instead. Because as you can see, that caused a lot of issues just for now. I would have saved a lot of time had we figured out that the configuration file can cause an issue. So how we fixed that was to make a copy of my config for my V1.8, replace the serial with the correct serial for this for the Raspberry Pi, and it connected, and now it's homing fine. The only problem now is I'm having retraction on X, but homing wise everything is homing fine. I haven't tested the Z yet, but I'll sort that out after I end the stream. And then tomorrow when we start the stream, we're not gonna start the stream like on worrying about homing or anything like that. We'll get that sorted out. The next thing we're gonna start doing is trying to at least get some tuning, some printing down, stuff like that. So, but for tonight, I'll just finish up with the homing sequence, and I'll come back and I'll let you guys know what I did, what changed. I'll go through it with you guys. That way we can move on and not have to drag this part out. But I'm kind of happy that this happened, because then you guys kind of see troubleshooting in real time. Most of the stuff I kind of figured out on my own, and few of them are just stuff I forget. For example, to add the virtual end stop to X. Since you're doing sensorless homing, it makes sense to add the virtual end stop to X. That's why it was a problem, why it wasn't working initially. Homing in the max direction, so basically homing in the max direction of the Y and the max direction of the X. That also was forgotten. I added that back. So just a few mishaps that I should have kind of did, but you know, live streaming and all, everything comes out. But I'm happy. I'm kind of happy to happen this way, because then it's a learning experience for you guys, but also myself. So like I said, I'm not a Clipper guru or anything like that, but I know how to get around to Clipper myself, right? So yeah, so we'll continue this. We'll pick this up tomorrow. I appreciate you guys being patient with me and actually watching and giving suggestions. That's freaking awesome that I can interact with you guys live. But I promise tomorrow it'll be much, much better, and we can actually get this sucker printing and do some extruder collaboration and all that stuff. So I'm not going to work on the extruder stuff yet. I kind of want to do that live as well. I want you guys to see how to calculate the heat steps and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to work on the homing part. Once the homing works, then tomorrow we'll continue and pick up from there, and then add what we got to add to the config, calculate what we got to calculate, Z-tilt, bed mesh, all the fancy gizmo, then create a Cura profile for this printer particularly, and then start doing some prints and all that stuff. So tomorrow is also going to be a nice little stream, but not with this hiccup. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'm glad you guys enjoy my stream, so I'll keep it coming. But for tonight, we're going to call it a night. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.